Greetings! Now, I'm of the opinion that FIFA 21 has not done a good job of respecting and recreating certain fundamentals that a football video game should have. To show every example of that, it would take me hours. So for today, I just want to focus on how passing works in FIFA 21 and why I think that the overall experience surrounding passing, aka one of the most important aspects of any football game, both in real life and on the virtual field, leaves a lot to be desired. Now, when talking about passing, you inevitably end up touching on other aspects of the game, such as defending and more specifically interceptions. Many aspects of this game intertwine, so that in and of itself makes sense how that would happen, which is why I always make disclaimers like these. That is, that it goes without saying for when you ask for a change in FIFA, other things should be changed accordingly as well. So when I talk about something, a lot of people always comment, but Stallion, if you change X, then Y has to change too. And of course, it has. I just prefer splitting topics into separate videos rather than making a mega video that covers absolutely everything. Back to passing, however, no matter EA's efforts over the last few years, which while appreciated have left a lot to be desired, the same issues with passing continue, and in my opinion are a big reason why the overall experience is not satisfying. Now, whether it's passes that shouldn't work but do, or passes that should work but don't, it's all still in FIFA 21 the same way it was in FIFA 20 and 19, etc, and it breaks the flow of the game. As many of you know, for the past few years, I've made several videos on different ways passing assistant works. Maybe it's my fault for not explaining myself that well in the past, but I've never wanted to make it sound like I wanted full manual passing. The main point I wanted to make is that passes should always be directed towards the direction of the player you wish to pass to is going. Now, I know that doesn't make a lot of sense right now, but you'll see what I'm getting at. Because if you don't do what I just said, you continue to play a game like FIFA 21 and many more at this rate, where no matter what you do defensively, you will not get the ball because the game will not let you intercept it. Defending becomes redundant and bad decision making reigns supreme. Let me show you with a few examples and I'll ramp them up as we go. Here's a pass that my opponent played on me, playing on the screen before you, that shows one way that assistance works. Now, at first glance, it might seem irrelevant, but what happens is very unfortunate. At the start of the clip, we can see his striker running diagonally upwards in this massive crater of space between my center backs. This is a problem I need to deal with, and I know I do while I'm playing this game, or else I will probably concede. Now, the run is upwards, so what I do is I select my Koulibaly, and my intention is to track the run of my opponent as he goes upwards. And the reason I do this is because I'm not in a position of power here. So the best I can do is select my Koulibaly and make sure to track my opponent so that even if his striker receives the ball, I might have a chance to tackle him later on. Now, as you can see, despite me being absolutely correct about the striker's movement and tracking the run really well, the pass goes downwards and my opponent's striker changes direction only after the pass is made. At this point, I am absolutely screwed. He gets through and there's no way I can track his movement up and the pass to the completely opposite direction of his run downwards. And this is super important because here is where a lot of people mess up. They say, oh, but Stallion, what if this was his intention? What if his plan was always to aim down? How do you know he didn't aim where he passed? Well, that's a load of horse crap for two main reasons. Number one, let's not act like aim is the sole decider of where the game decides to pass for you. If it was, then you'd see wildly different trajectories throughout all your games of FIFA that you play. The reality is that the game aims in a way to help you screw over the defender and reward bad passes. The game is catered to a casual audience, and it might just be my opinion, but I feel like EA is afraid of making a game that punishes bad decisions. Here you can see that aim is really irrelevant. Look at this pass I make. I'm telling you right now where I'm aiming. I'm aiming this in this direction. This is what I want. This is the outcome I want. this line is where I want this pass to go. But because that was covered, the game knew it, so it decided to make this pass work in a direction that I did not aim. This was the only direction that this pass could have worked because the middle was clogged, just for the sole reason of helping me and simultaneously screwing over my opponent. Aim is not a fair counterpoint because that's not how the game works, nor should it be, because you should be rewarded for tracking runs well. Passes should be assisted towards the direction of the runner so that the defender can predict where the pass trajectory will be. In its current state, the defender cannot do anything. And now the second reason why that's a load of horse crap about the whole aim and that being his intention can be seen from the beginning of the initial example. Here we can see that it really doesn't matter what his intention was. The game was going to do everything in its power to make him go through. Again, look at the state of the situation. In hindsight, we all know the pass goes down this way. Do you really believe that had I stayed in this position with my Koulibaly, where the pass we know would have gone, do you really believe that the pass would have still gone in this direction? Do you really believe that had I stayed here, where again, we know this is where the pass ended up going, his striker would have ended up changing his run? Absolutely not. Had I stayed here, we all know where the pass would have gone. It would have gone upwards, where I predicted initially it would have, because that's exactly where his striker was going. If I don't track the run up, again, the pass goes into this massive crater of space, and that's a fact. So no matter what I do here, I can't stop it. I either let him go through the initial space that's created, or I mark the space and the game punishes me regardless and sends the ball downwards. Which brings me to this second example, and it is widely similar to an example that I showed you guys last year to show you just how bad the game wants to reward bad decision making. Honestly, it's kind of scary, but again, at first glance you might be thinking, what are we looking at here? What we're looking at is yet more situations that make defending absolutely redundant, and frankly also passing. Honestly, it feels like you may as well wear a blindfold sometimes when you pass, because the less you think, the less vision you have, the better. Now here, my opponent passes from Rashford to Ben Yedder and somehow makes it work. Now upon further inspection from the positioning of Rashford, you can tell by how he's moving that the moment where my opponent has already charged up his pass with Rashford is right now. This is where he's decided I'm passing it to Ben Yedder. And now again, in this moment, this is what his Ben Yedder looks like. His Ben Yedder is running upwards. He is going for a player who is running upwards in this direction. This is the trajectory he's looking for. Subconsciously, God bless my intuition that thankfully has not yet been ruined by this game, that genuinely makes you feel like you make a mistake even when you didn't. But again, subconsciously, I made the efforts to put myself in the right spot, all things considered. I'm right between this passing lane that he's clearly going for and also moving in a way that accounts for the movement of Ben Yedder. That is, I'm moving upwards because that's where his Ben Yedder is running, so I'm accounting for that. So regardless of when he plays the pass, I'm always going to be in a position where the trajectory should be. All the while using an 85 rated De Jong with a shadow card that has 92 interceptions. Not that it really should matter in my opinion with this sublime coverage, because at the end of the day, you should be rewarded for reading the play. But regardless, upon even further inspection, what do we have here? We have me looking like an absolute clown as I covered the initial true movement that was happening. All the while the game recognizes this and moves the pass to the complete opposite direction that I'm going, and it ensures that I cannot intercept it. Now, if you think that his Ben Yedder wouldn't get there because he was running in the opposite way, well, that would be really nice, but naturally, the game makes him turn around and react to it so that the bad decision could magically turn into a good one. And if you think that my opponent intended for all of this to happen when his Ben Yedder was clearly running the opposite direction when the pass was intended, I don't know, man. It honestly really saddens me that you would even play devil's advocate here. At the end of the day, FIFA is a video game. It's supposed to be fun, and to me, Fun means that what I do has a direct impact on the outcome on the field. Now, I appreciate that fun might mean different things for other people. If you enjoy rigging your opponents, I guess you would like things like these to happen more often. But for me, fun is being rewarded for doing something good. This isn't fun. This is, to me, dishonest and not competitive. For me, FIFA would be in a better place if it remembered that it's only just a video game. In real football, midfielders do not and cannot have 360-degree vision at all times. In FIFA, they do, because the people controlling the midfielders are us, and we have a bird's eye view of the field, more or less, depending on your camera angle, and as such, passing needs to stop rewarding mindless decisions like these. If you agree, please like and share this video. The only way EA looks at feedback like this isn't if it comes from me, despite how well articulated and constructive it may be. Things will change. It will change if the masses start voicing their concerns respectfully and altogether pushing in the same direction. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.